This is the Baxter Stockman deck, just explained a little more in depth. So we've got Baxter Stockman as the commander. Costs 3 and a blue and a red. Probably want to get him out as soon as possible. When he enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. So we got a token generation. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gets +3/+0 and gains first strike and vigilance till end of turn. So he gives a good buff to one of your artifact creatures in this deck, and you will have plenty of artifact creatures in this deck. To start off, let's look at a little bit of card draw. We've got Krang, Mastermind. So he's got an affinity for artifacts, make him cheaper. When Krang enters, if you have fewer than 4 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So 1 off. And then Krang gets +1/+0 for each other artifact you control, which should be lots. Got April O'Neil, Hacktivist. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast this turn. We've got Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Got Mind Transfer Protocol. Until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness of 4 or 5. Maybe buff something up there, and you get to draw a card. Raphael, Most Attitude. He's got Menace. Whenever another creature you control enters, you may exile top card of your library. Whenever Raphael attacks, until end of turn, you may play a card exiled with Raphael. It's kind of like card draw. We got Buzzbots, Flying and Vigilance. When this creature dies, draw a card. Got Donatello's Technique. It's got Sneak. And then we draw 2 cards. Got Casey Jones, Jury Rig Justicator, or Justicar. It's got Haste. When Casey Jones enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Hopefully you'll be able to do that, because you should have lots of artifacts. And we've got April, Reporter of the Weird. When April deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards, then discard a card. I have had that April put in quite a bit of work. So we've got a bit of ramp too, Dawn and Wrath. They've got Menace. When Dawn and Wrath attack, the next non-creature spell you cast this turn has affinity for artifacts, so you can make something cheaper to cast. We've got Raphael, Ninja Destroyer. It must be blocked if able. When Raphael is dealt damage, add that much red. Until the end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. We've got an Arcane Signet. Mana of in your commander's color. Got a Weathermaker. Add a mana of any color. Whenever a land you control enters, put a charge counter on the artifact. So you can remove 2 charge counters and add 2 colorless, or remove 3 charge counters and it deals 3 damage to any target. I just put this in here for turtle flavor and adding a mana. The other stuff is just bonus. Chromatic Lantern. Speaking of bonuses, lands you control have add a mana of any color. I don't really care about that. I put it in for turtle flavor and add a mana of any color. You can replace this with any cheaper mana rock to get the same effect of just adding a color. We also have a Soul Ring to add 2 colorless. And Normally I don't run this many mana rocks because I'm not really worried about it. But I'm doing it because we've got Coin of Mastery. Each creature you control with enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each mana from an artifact source spent to cast it. So now we've got some artifact sources, and we can bring out creatures with +1/+1 counters. On top of that, we can tap it to create a treasure token, so we have another source for +1/+1 counters. So speaking of +1/+1 counters, we have Baxter, Fly in the Ointment. When he enters or attacks, each creature you control with a counter on it gains flying until end of turn. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Baxter. We got the Cryoplast Manipulator. It's got Graft 2, so it comes in with 2 +1 counters. When you pay a blue and tap it, gain control of target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it for as long as this creature remains on the battlefield. If you keep putting +1/+1 counters on Cryoplast Manipulator or Cytoplast Manipulator, then you'll get to keep using that ability. We've got the Big Mother Mouser. This enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever this creature attacks, double the number of +1 counters, so you can make it scary. And if somebody removes it, when this creature dies, create a number of create a number of 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature tokens equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. We've also got Donatello, Way with Machines. He's got flying. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Donatello. There'll be a lot of artifacts entering, so Donatello can get big fast. Arcbound Ravager. Sacrifice an artifact. You can do that multiple times. And you'll put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It has modular 1. So, again, we can do this multiple times. Make that big. Donatello, Mutant Mechanic, great in this deck. Tap him, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot creature in addition to its other types. You'll probably be buffing all the artifact creatures you have, though. Whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on up to 1 target artifact or creature you control. So you can save the +1 counters you've been putting around. And we've got the Technodrome. Reach and Trample. This creature can't attack or block unless its power is 6 or greater. And it will be. It will be. So we can tap it to sacrifice another artifact, draw a card, and put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So you can sacrifice a Mutagen token, and instead of just getting a +1 counter, you're drawing a card with it and getting a +1 counter. If you're putting it on the Technodrome. So, of course, with +1 counters, we've got Mutagen tokens. So we've got Return to the Sewers. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library, and you get to create a Mutagen token. So a bit of removal and Mutagen. Double all damage that creatures you control with counters on them would deal. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of those. And when Raphael enters, create a Mutagen token, just to guarantee at least one. We've got Ooze Spill. So we get a bit of removal, I guess. Counter target spell and create a Mutagen token. Crustacean Commando. When this creature enters, create a Mutagen token. And you got a nice little blocker there, unless you buff him up. We've got April O'Neil, Human Element. Whenever a player casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you create a Mutagen token. Got Ray Fillet, Man Ray. Got flying. When Rayflay enters, create a Mutagen token. You can also pay to remove a +1 counter from a creature you control and draw a card. You may be able to do that with all the +1 counters. And of course, with +1 counters, we've got the Ooze. Whenever a creature you control with a +1 counter on it leaves the battlefield, create a Mutagen token for each +1 counter on it. It's a great way to save all the +1 counters you put on things instead of losing them when the creature goes to the graveyard. Also, you can tap it, exile target card from a graveyard, create a Mutagen token. So remove a card from somebody's grave, including your own, whatever you want to do, and create Mutagen. So with all these counters, we have all will be one. Whenever you put one or more counters on a permanent or player, this enchantment deals that much damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. So, hey, you're putting counters on things, why not? So what else is going on in this deck? Well, Baxter made a 1/1 robot. So we're going to make some tokens. We've got Mouser attack. Choose one. Create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. Or target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike till end of turn. Gives you options. We got Tempestra. If you pay 2 and a red, tap it, sacrifice an artifact, you create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it isn't legendary, gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Imagine having 2 Baxters. Or, well, 2 of anything. We've got the Mouser Foundry. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, you create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact. If you pay 4 and a red, you can sacrifice it, and it deals 3 damage to target creature. We've got Ravenous Robots. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. You should be doing a lot of this, so you may be getting a lot of 1/1 tokens out of it. If you pay 1 and tap, creature tokens you control gain haste till end of turn. We've got Chrome Dome. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+0, so we got that buff. If you pay 5, create a token that's a copy of another target artifact you control. That token gains haste, but then you gotta sack it. We've got Donatello, Gadget Master. He's got Sneak. Whenever Donatello deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. So more artifact token creation. We've got the Turtle Blimp. When the vehicle enters, you create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. So you get to create a token there. And the Blimp is nice because when you crew it, it becomes an artifact creature with flying. And with all these creature tokens coming into play, we've got Slash, Reptile Rampager. Whenever another creature you control enters, Slash deals 2 damage to each opponent. And when Slash attacks, you create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. As well as Raphael Tough Turtle. Whenever another creature you control enters, Raphael deals 1 damage to target opponent. Not as good as Slash, but every little bit helps. Thank you, Raph. So we got a few buff things here. Double jump and flying kick. Put a flying counter on target creature you control until end of turn. It has base power and toughness 5/5, so surprise somebody. And we've got flying kick. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. You'd be surprised at how many +1/+1 counter things and mutagen tokens you'll be making in this. So that you can buff them up and do that damage with flying kick and whatnot. We have a skateboard. Whenever this equipment enters, tap up to 1 target permanent. or tap target permanent. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. So haste is good. We've got the hard one Jit. Equipped creature has double strike. We've got Raphael, tag team tough. It's got menace. When Raphael deals combat damage to a player for the first time each turn, untap all attacking creatures. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. So yay for that. We've got Improvised Arsenal. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, which will be a lot. And you pay 4 in a red, you create a token that's a copy of this equipment, and it just equips for 1 red. I've actually done this where I've created 3 or 4 copies and equipped them to different creatures. And with all the artifacts, it was decent. It was good. We've got Raphael the Night Watcher. It's got sneak, and attacking creatures you control have double strike. So just make them a little more threatening. And of course, this is a hefty 9, but you might, with Dawn, or is it Dawn and Wrath? Yes, with Dawn and Wrath, you can decrease the cost, and you got those mana rocks. So, but if you can bring him out, he's got Flying, Trample, Indestructible, Haste. It's 9/9 for Krang. And other artifact creatures you control have Flying, Trample, Indestructible, and Haste. So it's not just him. You're making all your artifact creatures scary. So here's some kind of removal-y type of things. We've got the Outram Scientists. When this creature enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. So we've got Kitsune, Dragon's Daughter. When Kitsune enters or deals combat damage to a player, you may exchange control of 2 other target creatures controlled by different players. So you can start messing things up or stealing things. Or, well, not stealing, trading. We've got Henchbots. When this creature enters, exile target tap creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. General Trag, Heart of Stone. He's got Trample, but when he enters, you may sacrifice another artifact. When you do, he deals 4 damage to target creature. You could potentially remove something. We got Donnie's Bow. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has Trample and Lifelink. So that's swell. Why is it in removal? Well, it doesn't really remove anything, but if you pay 1, permanents your opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible till end of turn, making it easier for you to remove something. We've got Bespoke Bow. When this equipment enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. I guess you could do that to one of yours too if you want to recast it and get a token or mutagen or whatever. Equipped creature gets +2/+1 and has vigilance. Got Fugitive Droid, a cheap 1 mana there. This creature can't be blocked if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, so that's going to be more than likely. Removal is pay 1, sacrifice this creature, counter target spell that targets an artifact or creature you control. We've got the Sewer Valence Scam. It's got Flash. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature. You can also pay 3 and a blue to sacrifice it and draw 2 cards. And we have Rock Soldiers. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact. So the last bit of stuff we have some miscellaneous stuff. Metalhead, mainly because Metalhead is cool. But when Metalhead enters, return up to one other target artifact or creature to its owner's hand. So it could be used as removal, or you could bounce back one of your artifacts so you can reuse it again. If you pay a red and sacrifice another artifact, you put a +1 counter on Metalhead, and he gains Menace and Haste till end of turn. So you can do that as many times as you want and buff him up, give him that evasion, and attack right away. Got Mole Module. Menace, when this vehicle deals combat damage to a player, mill 4 cards. You may put a permanent card from among them onto the battlefield, so at the cost of putting some in your grave, you get to get one out for free. You got Nobody. When this creature enters, return up to one other target artifact you control to its owner's hand, and then scry 1. So you can, again, reuse one of your artifacts. We got Brilliance Unleashed. You could choose one or both, so why not both? It deals 5 damage to target creature, potentially removing it. And we got choose target artifact card in your graveyard, return it to the battlefield, if it's an artifact creature card. Otherwise, return it to the battlefield, and it's a 3/3 robot artifact creature with flying. So you've got options to bring something back. We've also got Underworld Breach. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost, plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this enchantment. So it's kind of like a one-off, but hey, you got some things in your grave that you really want back out. There you go. We got Ultra Monitor. It's got an affinity for artifacts, just making it cheaper. It's got flying. It's just another artifact to add to your deck. Artifact creature. Got the Mouser Mark III. I only put it in because it's a Mouser. It can't attack unless you control another artifact, but it's in there mainly because it's an artifact creature and it's a Mouser. And this one here I just put in for fun. Broadcast Takeover. Costs 2 and 3 red, but gain control of all artifacts your opponents control until end of turn. Untap them, they gain haste till end of turn. So if they control a lot of artifact creatures, then it's a potential turnaround there. It's like Insurrection, but for artifacts. If they don't, then I don't know. I guess you're stealing some other types of artifacts, or not casting it at all. And that was my Baxter Stockman deck. I hope it gave some ideas, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.